Hi there, I'm Donna Moore of Chateau Confections, and I am here making my product in my commissary kitchen, which is called a Chateau Kitchen in Winter Park, Florida. And I have been asked to share some self-taught knowledge about chocolate by the signature chefs of Orlando. And I'm just very proud to have been asked to do that. So today, what I thought I'd do, what started my business, I made chocolate, particularly fudge and fudge sauces for friends and family for years using my grandmother's recipe. And so I wanted to show you how simple that is to do, and wish you could smell this concoction that's going, because it's one of a couple of things I make that I absolutely lick the bowl with. But what I'm making, first of all, I use a 72% extra bittersweet chocolate because I want the intensity of the flavor. For my palate, fudge sauces are typically way too sweet. And if I want a fudge sauce that I'm going to use as an icing, between a cookie, to make a wafer cookie with icing, or just eat it as fudge, or put it over ice cream, or dip fruit in it, I just want the intensity, and I don't want the sweetness competing with what I'm going to, put that sauce on. So I work with Guittard chocolate. Again, this is a 72% bittersweet. I have melted 3 ounces of organic butter in the saucepan, along with 6 ounces of the dark chocolate, and I've melted that. Then I've added in a cup of boiling water. And I am using, this is a fabulous invention as far as I'm concerned, an induction burner. It concentrates the heat on the pan, so it's going to cook a little more quickly, and you're going to have to reduce the temperature a little bit. But it's just, if you have a limited amount of space at home where you're making your product, this just gives you an additional burner, and you can plug it in anywhere, which is wonderful. Now I'm going to add a cup of sugar, and I'm not going to quite put the whole cup in. And then I've got 1/3 of a cup, and you can see I'm wearing some of my chocolate. I like it so much. I don't think you should just consume it. I think you should wear it too. But I've got 1/3 of a cup of corn syrup, and that's going to add a little thickness to it. And then I'm going to stir all this together, and I'm going to increase the temperature from 500 degrees to 800 degrees. I'm going to let it come to a low boil, and then it's going to simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes until it thickens, because I consider my fudge sauce a dessert topping, and as I mentioned, I use it in a number of different ways. Growing up, when we made fudge, the only way we had fudge sauce is if the fudge didn't turn out, and we just called it spoon candy. So when you go into business, you can cheat, and you can use that as your fudge sauce too. But now I make a real fudge sauce again, so that we can use it in a number of different ways. Once the sauce has thickened a little bit, I'm going to pour it into the jars. Now, a nice thing about this basic fudge sauce, some people just like plain and dark chocolate. It's like anything that you make, be it a truffle, a bark style candy, a cookie, whatever you want to use, whatever you want to make, you can add whatever flavoring you want to. One of the most popular, and the ones that I grew up with and simply adore, is the peanut butter fudge sauce. I also make a cherry bomb fudge sauce, which is I use maraschino cherries. They're marinated in Chambord and blackberry brandy, and they are so good. It's kind of an adult chocolate sauce, if you will. But today we're just going to make the plain sauce, and we're going to make peanut butter fudge sauce. And I promise you, it is divine. Today, another thing we're going to do that's a little simpler, because I'm showing you this so that you can do this at home. If you're going to keep it in the refrigerator before you give it as a gift or before you consume it, you don't need to seal the jars. If you want extended shelf life, you're going to want to seal the jars just as you would in the canning process. You're going to want to use the boiling water, get the jar hot before you pour the fudge sauce in it, and then you're going to put the lid on and put it, screw it down tightly, and place it back in the boiling water. We won't do that today. This bottle of sauce back here has been sealed. And this is one of my labels, and it does list the ingredients, because I would recommend that you do that even if you're just giving this as a personal gift and making it home, because particularly like with the peanut butter, some people are allergic to peanuts. So you want to indicate that. And if you've added any other ingredient, I do an espresso fudge sauce too. Some people may not want the caffeine, or they may not want to serve it in the evening if they're particularly sensitive to caffeine. So it's real important to list the ingredients, whether you're going to wholesale it or just give it as a gift. People want to know what's in it. So this is what one of my jars looks like that I sell. And I don't know if you can see this nice bubble we've got going on here, and it's starting to thicken a little bit. But this great 72% chocolate is divine on the smell. And we've just got a few more minutes. And then what's going to happen when it has thickened appropriately, and again, if you're making this for your own consumption, you can make it as thick or thin as you want. If I'm going to use it as an icing, I'll go a little bit thinner than the finished product. Okay, so you've got that option, because once the ingredients have melted and come together, it's really up to you what you want to, how you want the finish to be. When we take it off the burner, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, because I've just made one batch. You can double this, you can triple it. I find that doubling is about all that I want to do to be able for it to turn out properly. With one batch, you're going to get about 3 of these 8-ounce jars. So that's something to be aware of when you're purchasing your ingredients. And then again, the peanut butter or whatever ingredient you use, you're just going to do that to taste. So in one single batch, I'm probably going to use 1 big scoop and a half of sauce. All right, our fudge sauce is ready to be poured. It has gotten nice and thick, as you can see in here. It's a good consistency. We're going to make this one a little thinner than we did this. These fudge sauces you can microwave and thin them down, or just eat a big bite of candy. This is one I opened so that you could see it had lots of peanut butter on the top. But after you remove the fudge sauce from the burner, from the heat, you add in your vanilla, stir it, and then you're simply going to pour. And the beauty of using that induction burner is that the heat is concentrated in the pan. Now I'm not going to fill these completely. We'll do one plain, and then we're going to do a couple peanut butter. This will be our plain one, so we'll fill it to the top. Fill it enough that it doesn't spill. I think we're good. So a little bit. Want to leave enough in there so that you have something when you get ready to lick the pan. You got to be able to lick the pan. Alrighty. So now we're going to take peanut butter, and we are going to put a big dollop in there. I like to just let it melt down so that you can see it on the sides. I don't like to swirl it in. If you're going to heat seal, it's going to combine the product, and you should just be aware of that. You won't get to see that big nice lump on the side, as you can see there or see in it. And then what we're going to do, then you want to wipe off the rims so it's nice and clean. I'm going to borrow a little bit from that. I'm going to wipe the inside, and then we're going to add our peanut butter to this one. And again, we're going to wipe the rim so it's a little bit tidier. And then we need to let these cool. We'll sit them right there on the counter, and we're going to let them cool before we put the lids on. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna chow down on this bottle. Thank you, Signature Chefs of Orlando, for allowing us to show you some of our products. And we look forward to seeing you again. Enjoy.